Good morning, YouTube friends. So here we are. It is Friday, headed to work on the big Indian Pursuit, but I have to take a bit of a detour this morning, so we'll have a few more minutes to talk. So if you're a hardcore Harley-Davidson guy and you feel like the Motor Co. can do no wrong and the Milwaukee 8 is the greatest engine ever made, this video is probably not going to be for you. You might want to just go ahead and move on right now. If you'd like to hear my opinion about the Milwaukee 8 engine and my opinion about the new CVO motorcycles with the variable valve timing, then stick around. So I've been a professional mechanic in one capacity or another for over 20 years now. I've been a professional motorcycle mechanic for about 2 years now, and I have seen and experienced and worked on plenty of the Milwaukee 8 engines, and it is my opinion that the M8 engine is not a very good engine. It's a mediocre design that was then built down to a cost, and it's essentially disposable. They have a lot of problems with that engine right from go. They've ironed some of them out, some of them they haven't. It's still a pretty new engine, so as you start seeing more of them with higher mileage, we'll start seeing new and different problems with them. But some of the big issues are the lifter cuffs for the valve lifters, and those being made out of plastic, the lifters will rotate in the bore and cause total and catastrophic engine failure, which we've seen in some of my videos. They had a lot of head gasket problems early on. There have been some issues with piston rings and piston ring lands breaking and causing major engine failure. And there is one that was through our shop that's out at the tuners now that had the valve seats fall out of the head. So apparently there can be valve seat issues with them. And like I said, it's a fairly mediocre design that was put together poorly to build it down to a cost, making it disposable. So with the new CVOs with variable valve timing, now we're adding a system that was known to be problematic on cars to an engine that has a lot of problems of its own. So I think those new CVOs are totally disposable, because there's going to be a lot of problems with cam phasers, with the VVT control solenoid that controls oil to actuate the phaser, and there's going to be a lot of problems with timing chains and timing chain tensioners, because those are all the problems we saw on cars and that you still see on a lot of VVT cars. The way the variable valve timing system works is that you've got a sprocket that turns your camshaft, and the camshaft can move in relation to the sprocket a few degrees in either direction to advance or retard the cam timing. So to make it move, They essentially use a hydraulic system that uses engine oil to push the cam into an advanced or retarded position. And they can even control how much through the computer. And they've got a cam sensor on the camshaft and a cam sensor on the cam sprocket and a crank sensor, so the computer knows where everything is in relation to everything else. So that means Harley's going to need much better computers than they've had before to run their engines. And that could potentially be an issue in the future as well, because these are brand new computers that are running this thing. So we don't know how long they're going to work for or how well they're going to work. And a lot of issues with cam phasers is that there are springs that return them to center if something messes up, and those springs will break inside. And the thing's, like I said, controlled through a solenoid that pushes oil into one side or the other of the cam phaser. And if you don't change your oil often enough, the solenoid gets plugged up and it gets stuck and it doesn't work. Obviously, you've got a bunch of sensors reading things, and those can fail, or you can have a chafed wire, like is not uncommon on Harley-Davidsons and motorcycles in general. That'll make the sensor fail. There's just a lot of things that can go wrong with that system. So there's no chance I would ever buy a bike with an M8 in it anyway, but I definitely wouldn't buy one of those new CVOs with the VVT. I'd wait about 5 years for them to iron out that VVT system before I'd ever think about buying one of those. I mean, Harley-Davidson couldn't even get a hydraulic clutch right. So, variable valve timing, yeah, good luck. But that's just my opinion as a mechanic. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they've already got it all ironed out and it'll work great, but I don't think so. I think they're going to start having problems right away. I also think you don't get a whole lot for what you pay with a Harley-Davidson, especially with a CVO. I'm not saying they're not nice bikes. They are nice bikes. I just think you get a lot more value for your money with an Indian or quite a few other foreign bikes. I'm a little pissed at the motor company and have been for quite a while anyway, because I don't like the way they treat their customers. So anyway, that rant's over. I should have some exhaust going on a Dyna today. I don't think it showed up yesterday, because if it had, I'd already had it done. I've got a guy bringing in a loose wheel and tire, and as far as I know, that's it. Oh, Yesterday, I put a tire on a bike and brought the boss's new road glide back to his house and picked up his Dyna. He's going to let his friend borrow the Dyna for the weekend because his friend's bike is the street glide that had the throttle problem that turned into bad valve seats. And that is getting new heads put on it, or rebuilt heads put on it right now. So that bike still isn't back in that customer's hands. So the boss is letting that guy use his Dyna for the weekend. So I went and got his Dyna and just looked it over to make sure it was roadworthy, ready to ride, good for the weekend. So that was pretty much yesterday. And like I said, I'm not sure beyond just a loose wheel and tire what I've got going on today. Hopefully the exhaust for that Dyna shows up and I can do that, because it'll be something to do, and I kind of like doing pipes, they're fun. I guess we could talk about Indian and what sort of issues they have. I can't think of any real common issues that I know of across the board that are known on Indians. I know there's a variety of electrical issues that they had early on, but the Thunderstroke engines, they're tried and true. They're pretty proven at this point. They're a good solid engine. This engine is only a couple years old. It's pretty new. I took quite a big chance buying this bike this soon, but I've had really good luck with it so far. I did have a leaky saddlebag, and it took about a week to scratch the crap out of the top of the gas tank with my vest, because the clear coat Indian used on this one was pretty soft. And I know there were a couple recalls for electrical issues, and I know there's an issue with the little plastic bushing in the windshield that makes it go up and down. But as far as I know, and I haven't done a huge amount of research, I rarely see Indians at the shop, and then it's just for oil changes. But as far as I know, there are no common major engine issues with these bikes right now. Once the mileage gets higher, maybe there will be. We'll find out. It's too new to know yet. The Thunderstrokes, I know actually there was a problem with valve springs breaking, and it was because there was essentially the manufacturer that made the valve springs had poor quality control for a time, and they've gone to a different manufacturer, so that's no longer an issue. This is not the road I wanted. I needed the next one. But like I said, they've got that valve spring issue ironed out on the Thunderstrokes, and it has been fixed for quite a while. Now, can I get over there from here? And what is this person doing? closed ahead. Fuck you. Yeah, there was the recall for the gear indicator. Valve springs, and that's pretty much everything I know of. Okay, it's not the road I'm on that's closed, it's that road.